Join us March 25th through April 9th, 2019 for our magnificent Cherry Blossom Time Tour. Day 1 is a travel day, but Day 2 finds us in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we'll tour the home of President Benjamin Harrison. Built in 1874, President Harrison lived in this historic home until his death in 1901. Day 3, we arrive in Gettysburg. We'll visit the Peace Monument and Gettysburg National Cemetery. This cemetery is the final resting place for more than 3,500 Union soldiers killed in the Battle of Gettysburg. Day 4, we have a guided battlefield tour of the Gettysburg National Military Park, the site of one of the most crucial battles of the Civil War, which lasted for more than 3 days. Our guide will really bring this battle to life for us. In the afternoon, we have a guided tour of Mount Vernon, the beloved home of President Washington. Day 5 begins with the Capitol tour, the symbol of the American people and the meeting place for the nation's legislature. A tour of the Holocaust Museum is always an emotional experience. As is seen, the Arlington National Cemetery, the final resting place for more than 400,000 active duty service members, veterans, and their families. Be ready to be dazzled this evening with a lighted city tour of D.C. We'll have a local guide on Day 6 to show us around. We'll visit the Pentagon 9/11 Memorial, where we shall always remember. We'll also visit the Jefferson Memorial, Lincoln, Vietnam, and Korean Memorial, just to name a few. Day 7 finds us at the Basilica of the National Shrine of Immaculate Conception. It's the largest Roman Catholic church in North America. Time will be allowed to attend Mass, or you may choose to enjoy fellowship in the cafeteria of the church. Then the tour is on to the Museum of the Bible, one of DC's newest museums. The day concludes with a self-guided tour of the Smithsonian National Museum of American History and Natural History. New to our tour this year is we're giving you a free day to customize your DC tour to fit your personal interests. Your tour director will be able to assist you with your plans. Perhaps you want to go back to the National Mall, see more of the Smithsonian's. It's your choice today. Day 9 takes us in the direction of Virginia. Our day starts with a historic landmark trolley tour, and after lunch there's a guided tour of the American Civil War Museum, which houses the largest Confederate collection and was known as the Confederate White House. Tonight, enjoy your accommodations. They're located directly on the most desired part of Virginia Beach. Day 10 begins with a self-guided tour of the Military Aviation Museum. It's home to one of the largest private collections of World War I and World War II military aircraft in the world. It's been voted the best attraction in Virginia Beach. The afternoon, you have some time at the Cape Henry Lighthouse for a self-guided walking tour. And tonight, we'll hear a costume storyteller to hear the legends and lore of Virginia Beach. Day 11 finds us having a guided tour at Monticello, President Jefferson's plantation home. This historic home was built to be reminiscent of ancient Rome and is surrounded by stunning ornamental gardens. Day 13, we've added 2 new attractions that are receiving praise worldwide. The first attraction is the Ark Encounter, a full-size Noah's Ark built according to the dimensions given in the Bible. It spans 500 feet long and 85 feet wide. It's considered to be an absolute engineering marvel. Following the Ark Encounter, there's a self-guided tour of the Creation Museum. Walk through biblical history as you explore exhibits such as the stunning Garden of Eden, Noah's Ark, or the Tower of Babel. You can't leave Kentucky without experiencing why Kentucky is world famous for their horses. Your guided tour of the Thoroughbred Heritage Horse Farm in Lexington allows you to explore the thoroughbred horse lifestyle with a behind-the-scenes, extremely unique tour. Our travel is in the direction of home, but not before stopping at the iconic Gateway Arch, the world's tallest arch. So join us for our Cherry Blossom Time Tour, March 25th through April 9th, 2019. It's a bucket list tour you won't soon forget. Join us for our Branson and Eureka Springs Tour, April 11th through 16th. Music, history, sightseeing, this tour has it all.
Yeah, come on, everybody, take a trip with me.
We're going to the 1950s, hot rods and high heels, celebrating poodle skirts, sock hops, soda shops, and teenage love. Our cast is sure to stir up some fond memories of the good old days, reminiscing the songs and dances that will get you bopping in and maybe out of your seat.
She rocks to the east, she rocks to the west. She's the girl that all of us to the parade. Hot diggity, dog diggity, boom, what you do to me, girl, girl, Johnny, girl, girl. Ooh, Johnny, be good. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. Well, I said, shake, baby, shake, shake, baby, shake it.
Tell me why does the rain fall from up above? Why do fools fall in love? Why do they fall in love?
The answer to all your problems is in this little old box. Varied regimen. Yep, that's it.
Lawlessness abound. There were Philistines that were in charge. So God, in the middle of that, raised up this superhero with supernatural strength to deliver his people.
Where does he get his strength from? Nobody's that strong.
We'll destroy Samson.
You have a relationship with Samson. We want you to find out the secret of his strength.
Delilah is really presented as a full three-dimensional person. And I think it's something that women will really appreciate is her story. And dads and sons will love this one. It's an experience that the entire family will love. Samson is one of the most technological stories that we've ever put on our stage. It is spectacular. 30-foot sets that are motorized that move all around, and there's no curtain. So when you walk into the theater, you're walking into his environment. Animals that fill the aisles and the stage. You are immersed in the whole production. There's a scene that literally brings the house down. Probably the most spectacular scene we've ever been able to design. You experience this story like really no other production we've done. The story of Samson is a roller coaster ride, a fun, action-packed, thrilling, yet meaningful story, I think, to so many people. Walls will fall.
Samson, live on stage at Sight and Sound.
We go to the Grand Country Music Hall for the Country Jamboree, winner of Branson's Best Comedy Show. You'll laugh until it hurts.
Springs, America's Victorian village, the place that Robert Ripley of Ripley's Believe It or Not called one of the 10 most unusual cities in America. Join us as we see and learn about Eureka Springs, up close and personal, as we ride slowly through the beautiful and charming historic district in one of our open-air trolley-style trams, ranked as one of the top 2 activities in Eureka Springs on TripAdvisor.
So join us April 11th through 16th for this music and historical journey through Missouri on our Branson and Eureka Springs tour, April 11th through 16th.
Of course, they were playing at the Surf Ballroom. You remember the Surf Ballroom? Back February the 3rd, 1959. That's the Surf there. You're looking at the front entrance to the Surf. And of course, this was the day the music died. There's the monument in front of the Surf that sort of commemorates, I guess, the day the music died in a sense. And once you step inside, you can see all kinds of pictures of folks that have played here at the Surf Ballroom over the years. It's kind of a living museum in a sense. Concerts still going on here. As a matter of fact, the winter dance party is about to kick in place, and I'm sure there'll be lots of people bellying up to the bar there as they enjoy some music over the winter dance party season. You can see there's lots of memorabilia as you tour through the Surf Ballroom. You can see folks, you can see the Buddy Holly memorabilia. You can see Richie Valens, of course, and you can see some stuff there from J.P. Richardson, the Big Bopper, some of his personal items. And you can see stuff from all kinds of players that have played here over the years, dating back to the 30s, various guitars signed by different players. It's really an amazing thing to do, just to kind of look at the guitars and look at the memorabilia. So like I said, it's kind of a living museum in a sense. The music still goes on here. This is an example of a guitar, and you can see who this one is. This is a guy that you normally see as sort of an actor.
Join us May 6th through 11th for the Sights and Sounds of Memphis. Memphis, it has all the energy and excitement of a big city with the heart of a small town. We enjoy a Memphis tour today and see all the top sights of Memphis. A featured tour is Sun Studios, the very studio where Elvis made history, and the likes of Johnny Cash, Roy Orbison, Jerry Lee Lewis, just to name a few, got their start. We'll have some lunch and have some free time on historic Beale Street. A tour of the Gibson Guitar Factory will make us utterly fascinated to see where these world-famous guitars take shape before your very eyes. At the Memphis Rock and Soul Museum, learn about the Memphis music scene and what changes it had on the world. No tour to Memphis is complete without seeing Graceland. Your Elvis experience includes a tour of the mansion, as well as his private jets, his entertainer career museum, wardrobes, and auto museum. We'll round up that morning with a delicious lunch at Vernon's Smokehouse, right in Graceland. We'll take a leisurely cruise down the Mississippi with the historical Memphis Riverboat Sightseeing Cruise. You'll gather at the iconic Peabody Hotel for the Marching of the Ducks. The Peabody Memphis Ducks march to see the hotel's residents, and they waddle across the red carpet to get to their room. As you begin your journey home, a stop is made in St. Louis, where you'll explore the National Blues Museum, where blues music actually serves as the foundation of all modern American music. It's celebrated at the museum. So join us for the Sights and Sounds of Memphis, May 6th through 11th, 2019. There's something really special about the Smoky Mountains in the spring. It's a little magical with the flowers blooming, the leaves a vibrant green, and the wildlife all coming out to play. You'll find this tour offers stunning scenery, lively attractions, and just a whole lot of fun. Day 2, we've got a special treat in store for you. We've got an Indianapolis food tour. The tour combines history, culture, architecture, and of course, great food and drink. Kentucky, it's got some of the best arts and crafts that you're going to find. And you get to do your own project. You get to build a barnwood birdhouse. After your crafting, you'll have free time for lunch and to visit the Kentucky Artisan Center, where the work of Kentucky artisans is featured. From books, crafts, specialty food, and more, you'll find a wide variety of items to view or to purchase. A stop will be made at the Museum of Appalachia. This is a recreated community, complete with 35 log cabins, barns, farm animals, churches, schools, and features over 250,000 artifacts, including folk art, musical instruments, baskets, and more, to help you learn a little bit more about this area. To enjoy an exciting day at Dollywood, Tennessee's #1 ticketed attraction, featuring turn-of-the-century crafts, one-of-a-kind rides, and award-winning entertainment.
You know, I'm a hometown girl. My hometown is Sevierville, Tennessee, and I've had the good fortune of getting to travel all over this world. I've had all kinds of wonderful awards, but I think probably one of the things I'm proudest of in my whole career, in my whole life really, is the statue of me in the courthouse yard in Sevierville. In fact, I thought that was one of the greatest things that ever happened. So I used to talk to my dad about it, and Dad was real proud too. He thought maybe I was getting just a little bit too cocky about that. So my dad was kind of a quiet guy. And he said, well, you know, I am really proud of you. I think that's great that you got a statue in the courthouse. But now, you know, you need to calm down just a little, because to your fans, you may be some sort of an idol. But to the pigeons down at the courthouse, you're just another outhouse. And my dad, though, I always thought that was a good story, and I like to tell that when I travel, but my dad was so sweet. He was proud of it, too. They told me later, before my dad died, that he used to take a big bucket of water. He had a can sealed, and he had a broom. They say he used to sneak out at night, late after the town had kind of calmed down, and go down and scrub the pigeon poop off my statue. And I know that you think I'm trying to be funny, but I'm not, because I cried my eyes out when I heard that. But anyhow, that's just something my daddy would do, especially my daddy. Anyhow, I just wanted you folks to know how proud I am to be part of this town and this county, and how proud I am of my little statue.
On our Backroads tour, we'll visit some of the hidden areas that maybe you've never seen. We'll get to see Dolly Parton's statue. We're going to go to the Bush Beans Visitor Center and General Store, We're going to even take a moonshine tour at the Smoky Distillery, where Old Smoky, the leading distiller of premium moonshine in Pigeon Forge, resides. Today is an exciting day. You get to visit the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Your guided tour of the park takes you on the scenic mountain road around the famous loop by way of the high-rising chimney tops. At the top of the mountain, you stop at Newfound Gap, which marks Tennessee, North Carolina's state line. Here at Newfound Gap, you'll be the lowest drivable pass through the mountains. A stop in Nashville brings you to the Country Music Hall of Fame, often referred to as the Smithsonian of Country Music. You'll have time to enjoy lunch, then you're going to take a guided tour of Studio B. This historic studio was once home to popular music titans such as Elvis Presley, Eddie Arnold, and the Everly Brothers. Join us for our New York City tour, June 9th through 15th, 2019. And this is one of our Active Lifestyles tour. And the number is limited. It's a small group tour, so we only take a certain number of signups. Day 1, we overnight in Eagan, Minnesota prior to our early morning flight. On day 2, we fly to New York City, arrive, and are transported down to our Times Square hotel called The Row. On day 3, we'll be having a local guide join us for a touring of Mid-Manhattan and the Big Apple, with your first stop being the world-famous Empire State Building. On the 102nd floor observatory, you'll have an unforgettable 360-degree view of the city. During your tour, you'll also see such sights as Rockefeller Center, Times Square, Fifth Avenue, Central Park, and Radio City Music Hall. Day 4 is a free day to customize your trip to meet your specific interests. With your hotel centrally located, it offers you a variety of things to see and do within a few blocks. If there's a specific tour or show you'd like to see, be sure to talk to the team at Southwest Tour and Travel, and arrangements can be made prior to your departure. Otherwise, your tour director would be happy to assist you once in New York City.
The Gambler, you can try the TKTS ticket booth. There's 3 locations. There's one here in Times Square, there's one in South Street and Seaport, and also one in downtown Brooklyn. You can check the screen information that shows you the discount tickets for a particular show, between 20 to 50% off, and they're for day of tickets only. So you can come to visit any of these locations, or you can visit tkts.com for more information.
On day 5, our local guide again joins us, but this time for a tour of Lower Manhattan. The guide will be sure to point out iconic sites such as Washington Square Park, Wall Street, St. Paul's Chapel, and more. Of course, no visit to New York City is complete without a tour of the Statue of Liberty and a visit to Ellis Island. We cruise across the harbor to Her Majesty, and you'll enter the statue's pedestal to learn of Lady Liberty's past, present, and future. Day 5 concludes on Ellis Island, where more than 12 million immigrants entered through to become United States citizens. Maybe some of your ancestors came through. There are computers. You can do some genealogy research. On the morning of day 6, a tour of the 911 Museum and Memorial will touch your heartstrings, as the story of 911 is told through multimedia displays, archives, narratives, and a collection of monumental and authentic artifacts. Your afternoon is open to allow you to choose your personal New York City experience. So So join Southwest Tours as we go to New York City, June 9th through the 15th. Remember, this is an active lifestyle series tour, which means it's a little more active, a little more walking, airline travel, and it also is limited in number. It's a small group tour. So don't wait. Call today, 1-800-669-1309, and travel Southwest and go with the best.
Off the coast of Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard is known for its pristine beaches, breathtaking ocean views, and historic towns just waiting to be explored. This beautiful island has something for everyone. After arriving in Vineyard Haven, head over to the famous Black Dog Tavern, a spot that was created from a simple idea. Locals and tourists alike should have a good place to meet and eat. Started by Captain Robert Douglas and named for his faithful canine, a black Labrador, the restaurant and its symbol have been part of the vineyard's history for years. For a peaceful experience, head out to the far western end of the island to Aquinnah. You'll find stunning views, red clay cliffs, and incredible sunsets from the Aquinnah Shop restaurant, as well as the lookout from the top of the cliffs. Don't miss Gay Head Lighthouse, which sits majestically on its perch above the cliffs of Aquinnah.
Nantucket, a Native American word meaning faraway place, is truly a world away. A visit to this beautiful island will bring you back in time and restore your sense of peace and tranquility. Smell the sea air mixed with roses as you enter the harbor on the ferry. Nantucket is accessible by sea or air, and once you're here, you won't want to leave. Exploring the town by foot is easy. Both ferries drop you right downtown. And the history of Nantucket will be apparent from your very first step on the cobblestone streets, passing by historic whaling captains' homes and old-fashioned lanterns. There are many restaurants to choose from in this small town, and all offer a selection of summer classics. Most serve organic local produce from Bartlett Farm, a family-run farm in the center of the island. From casual spots like the Rope Walk, which offers a raw bar and great views of the boats in the harbor, to more upscale dining like the Straight Wharf or American Seasons, there's something for everyone. These are just a sampling of the many fine restaurants on this island. The Nantucket Chamber of Commerce offers a full listing of the many dining and touring options. The shopping is great on Nantucket, and the merchants here offer very high-quality items. If you're interested in taking home a pair of Nantucket Reds, then Murray's Toggery Shop should be a stop. Murray's has been an institution on the island for over half a century. History abounds on this island, and no trip here is complete without a visit to the Old Mill. This, the oldest functioning mill in the country. Other points of historical interest are the Whaling Museum. The museum building was originally a candle factory, and exhibits here include the Fresnel light used in the Sankaty Head Lighthouse, a 46-foot skeleton of a sperm whale that washed ashore in 1998, and much more. Leaving town, explore the untouched beauty of this special place. Bike or moped rentals are a great way to explore the island and head to the beaches of Nantucket.
Join us as we head to our neighboring state of Wisconsin on our Travel Wisconsin Tour, June 21st through 24th. This tour will take you to a few of our favorite attractions, as well as introducing you to some new and exciting ones, such as Old World Wisconsin. Here you travel back in time and experience rural Wisconsin as it was in the 1880s, when waves of immigrants flocked to America's heartland. The evening of day one has you at the Grand Illusion Show at the Rick Wilcox Magic Theater. It's a fast-paced show filled with humor, Day 2 finds us at the Harley-Davidson Museum. The museum showcases the Harley-Davidson Motor Company's history and motorcycles throughout a variety of exhibits and interactive displays.
Yeah, so the museum opened here in Milwaukee in 2008. The collections existed well before then. And there's really been archival collections going back to at least 1920. But the determination was made to build a full-size museum that the public could enjoy. In the museum at any given time, there's about 135 to 140 bikes, depending on which temporary displays we have and permanent, but that's about the range that you'd find. My name is Bill Jackson, and I am the manager of Archives and Heritage Services for Harley-Davidson, and I also work here at the museum. The museum's been open since 2008, and we're always changing bikes out. If you ask me what my favorite bike is in the collection, I would have to say it is the 1936 EL Knucklehead. It's all original and beautiful.
Following your tour, enjoy a delicious lunch at the Rock Bottom Brewery, followed by a brewery tour. The afternoon, you'll tour the Mitchell Park Horticultural Conservatory. It's located in the 61-acre Mitchell Park. Here you can experience a desert oasis, a tropical jungle, and floral gardens, all in one afternoon. The afternoon concludes with a guided tour of the Pabst Mansion, Milwaukee.
In the back room, we have those hanging up to dry. Yes, let me get one around so that
2 years of blacksmithing experience. The fabrics across the way, the textiles.
So they start from the center. They go around and around.
Before concluding your tour, Day 4, you'll enjoy a guided tour of Villa Louise, a grand Victorian estate built by the family of Hercules Dousman, a frontier entrepreneur who amassed a fortune in the fur trade. The home has been restored to its 1890 splendor and also includes the servants' quarters, kitchen, outbuildings, and the Fur Trade Museum. So join us as we travel to our neighboring state of Wisconsin, June 21 through 24, 2019. For Alaska for 2019, we have some alternatives for you. We've got our Grand Alaska Land Tour, and July 12th through the 21st is our departure. We will take you to the airport. There's additional dates if that date doesn't work for you. The only difference being you will have to find your own transportation to your departure airport. For our July 12th departure, we'll pick you up at our guaranteed departure points, which are Marshall, Wilmer, Laverne, Worthington, Jackson, Fairmont, Mankato, Eagan, Minnesota, and in South Dakota, Sioux Falls and Brookings. Day 1, your flight will take you directly into Anchorage, where you'll have an opportunity to relax before your Grand Alaska Land Tour begins. Your hotel shuttle will provide you with transfers, or there is an optional meet and greet available.
Anchorage, Alaska is where your epic adventure begins. Everywhere you look, it's simply breathtaking. From the mountains and forests of Chugach State Park to the east, the sparkling water of Cook Inlet and Mount McKinley looming large on the northern horizon. Anchorage is one vacation you won't soon forget. Don't worry about an early bedtime during your trip to Anchorage. In the summer, there's about 22 hours of daylight, which means more time for everything. Hiking, biking, kayaking, or even paragliding. Whatever gets your heart pumping. There's no need to go far to find amazing experiences. In this city, you can actually throw on a pair of hip waders and fish for salmon in the middle of downtown. Easy access to rivers, lakes, and parks, and of course, an abundance of wildlife. Alaska has the highest concentration of glaciers in the country, and 60 of them can be found within 50 miles of downtown Anchorage. Chugach State Park is your getaway to Alaska's wilderness. Nearly 500,000 acres of wide open space. There's room to do it all. The hub for road, air, and rail travel in Alaska, Anchorage is the perfect place to start a comprehensive tour of the last frontier. Take off for an aerial tour of amazing glaciers and stunning mountains in Denali National Park, or board the Alaska Railroad bound for Seward and the marine wildlife wonders of Kenai Fjords National Park. Something not to be missed in Anchorage, the freshest seafood in the world served by top chefs. From fresh-caught halibut and wild Alaska salmon, it's the food that will have you coming back. Anchorage is filled with natural wonders and a mix of modern luxury. It's an unforgettable destination where your adventure begins.
The morning of day 2, you'll board your deluxe motor coach for your adventure to Valdez. You'll drive through the Matanuska Valley, where world record monster vegetables are grown in the 24-hour daylight. You'll stop at Worthington Glacier before heading into Valdez. Valdez is nestled between the waterfront and the mountains, giving it the nickname Alaska's Little Switzerland, and it's your evening destination.
Alaska has more coastline than the rest of the United States combined, some of it the most dramatic in the world. Taking a half or full day glacier and wildlife cruise is the most affordable way to see it. You'll see more marine wildlife than you've probably seen in your life. Harbor seals and sea otters churning up the waters, seabirds swirling above cliffs with their deafening chatter, and 2,000-pound sea lions hauled out on rocks. You may see Dall's porpoise that can cruise as fast as your boat, or humpback or orca whales. Glittering blue icebergs fill the bays, and 13,000-foot snow-capped peaks rise right out from the water's edge. Suddenly, you hear a distant rumbling. You turn just in time to catch one of nature's most dramatic sights. A house-sized block of ice shearing off a tidewater glacier and crashing into the ocean. The waters of coastal Alaska are as pristine as they were 1,000 years ago. Exploring it from the comfort of a glacier and wildlife cruise is an unforgettable way to experience the unchanged call of the wild.
Day 4, you board the motor coach for a journey north to the largest city in the interior, Fairbanks, also known as the Golden Heart City. The route takes you along Wrangell-St. Elias National Park, the largest park in the U.S., and the Trans-Alaska Pipeway. You'll learn how the gold rush affected Alaska's interior on a sightseeing tour with an included visit to the Museum of the North. Time will be available for shopping, walking, or dining. Then you'll cruise the Chennai River aboard a grand steering wheeler and travel back to the time when traditional riverboats plied the waterways of Alaska's interior in the 1800s. Tonight, you take in a salmon bake. Day 6, you ride the motor coach south to the magnificent Denali National Park. Day 7, you travel deep into Denali National Park on the Tundra Wilderness Tour and search the wilderness for bears, moose, caribou, and Dall sheep. This 6 to 8 hour journey is narrated, allowing for insight into the animals, flora, and fauna of this spectacular region.
Welcome to the Denali, Alaska Channel. Whether you have plans to go into Denali National Park or you're just thinking about it, we'd like to share with you some of the things you can expect to see along the way. The route to this unforgettable experience is the 90-mile Denali Park Road. The journey is magical, since private cars aren't allowed past Savage River at mile 14. This first stretch is rich with moose. You can also get out and hike. The Savage Riverside Trail is one of the few developed walking routes inside the park, boasting an explosion of gorgeous wildflowers and the sweet smell of spruce. 70 minutes in, you'll cross the rushing Teklanika, a classic braided river. You'll find some of Denali's best hiking along these river bars. As you climb out of this valley towards Sable Pass, be on the lookout for Dall sheep, grizzlies, and caribou, which are often seen here. Perhaps the most scenic stretch of the park road lies 2.5 hours in, where it claws its way through the rust and chocolate-colored cliffs of Polychrome Pass. On a clear day, Mount McKinley comes into dramatic view as you round Stony Overlook at mile 62. As you approach Wonder Lake, McKinley dominates the landscape like no other mountain on Earth. 7 miles away, the park road ends in the settlement of Kantishna, set on the banks of Moose Creek. A century ago, this area buzzed with 2,000 feverish gold seekers who endured any hardship in their quest for instant wealth. Signs of history still remain. But today, Kantishna is best known as an enclave of secluded wilderness lodges tucked deep within Denali. Here you'll find Alaska at its activity-filled best, with naturalist-guided hikes, mountain biking, wildlife sightings, and plenty of time to relax. Some visitors come for the day, but most stay several nights, arriving on transportation provided by each lodge. Denali National Park is like no other on Earth, and few people who visit this magnificent wilderness return unchanged.
The afternoon of Day 8, you board the world-famous Alaska Railroad for the scenic day trip to Anchorage. As you travel in a glass-domed rail car, enjoy the stunning beauty of Alaska along the way. Day 9, enjoy a city tour of Anchorage, including the historical downtown district. It also includes a visit to the Alaska Native Heritage Center, a gathering place celebrating Alaska Native cultures. The evening of Day 9 is an opportunity to say farewell to your traveling companions, and also one last time to feast on an Alaska-style meal. Day 10, your Alaska journey comes to an end with a flight out of Anchorage, but your Grand Alaska Land Tour memories will last a lifetime.
Alaska. Imagine its dramatic landscape, wildlife, and rich history revealed through a lens of comfort and impeccable service. Holland America Line has been revealing Alaska's majestic wild places and friendly ports to guests since before it was a state, presenting visitors with an insider's view of this pristine frontier. Denali National Park, Glacier Bay National Park, the Yukon Territory, and beyond. Our spacious mid-sized ships are perfectly suited to the Alaska experience. With grand outdoor decks and generously proportioned staterooms and verandas. Onboard menus are inspired and supplied by Alaska's delicious flavors. And then there's the renowned warmth of our crew, known for impeccable, intuitive service. 7-day cruises depart from Vancouver, British Columbia, or from Seattle. There are over 300 shore excursion options to choose from. And you can expand your adventure on a Holland America Line cruise tour into the great interior of Alaska and the Yukon, where wildlife, geography, and history tell a story like no other on Earth. However you choose to experience the great land, this is the once-in-a-lifetime adventure you've been dreaming of.
Tucked away in the northeast corner of the U.S., there is a small town where tomorrow never comes. A quiet place with a majestic hall, a brick-and-mortar temple to the American game. Here, the warm glow of bygone days are collected and safeguarded for all time. Artifacts of greatness, legendary tools of a beloved trade. But whenever the present turns its eyes to the past, the most coveted treasures are the heroes.
Getting tougher and tougher as this game goes along.
The magnificent Yankee, number 7, Mickey Mantle. The greatest hitter that ever lived.
They throw in where I'm swinging, and I'll be swinging, might mean the old ball game.
Icons of our prized pastime, whose lives on and off the field have the power to change us forever.
Well, now here's Robinson coming into the picture. You'd say the first colored fellow that ever came in. Belatedly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rickey. I'm certainly delighted with my contract.
Strength with class. Determination wrapped in hope. Within these walls, you will find the pride of a nation.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Our desire to overcome is personified here, and every now and then hammered home.
He's sitting on 714. It's gone! There's a new home run champion of all time!
Our story lies within these walls. Triumphs of spirit alongside losses we'll never forget. But even the past is an ever-changing place. And once a year, cherished heroes welcome new ones to these hallowed halls. As we select these boys of summer to become men for all time.